We're here with Sai Ravi, and we're going to be talking to you about a little bit of the research that he's been doing this past year. Can you explain to us what you've been researching?
So this research that we've been conducting in the lab has been to identify how glucokinase regulatory protein affects the location of glucokinase within the cell. We've been looking at mainly how it moves glucokinase around in response to extracellular glucose conditions. We want to research this mainly because glycolysis is one of the methods which cancer cells, that's primarily how they gain energy to continue replicating and do bad things. And glucokinase is considered one of the more important steps because it's a key point of regulation. It's an irreversible step. It can't be undone once it's done by the same enzyme. Some of the findings we found that it was the usual findings for glucokinase when there was more glucose in the extracellular environment, the glucokinase was pulled out into the cytoplasm to process that glucose. But when there was no glucose in the extracellular environment, as expected, it was pulled back into the nucleus and held in an inactive form. We identified where they were in the cell using fluorescence microscopy. We had each enzyme tagged with green fluorescence protein or red fluorescence protein, M-cherry, and based off of that, we were able to identify that over time using a confocal microscope. One of the more interesting findings is that glucokinase regulatory protein distributions in the cell actually did not change over time in response to the extracellular conditions. And that's weird because of the fact that the original hypothesized model is that glucokinase regulatory protein is going to tightly bind glucokinase and then drag it back into the nucleus or out of the nucleus. So it's just kind of weird to think that we have it change in this, but not this when they're supposed to be bound together in and out.
So what was the most challenging part of your research?
I would say definitely just analyzing all the images. That took it took many hours to do that. It's a daunting task. You have to carefully make sure you're selecting only the right part of the cell. If you mess that up, then it's going to mess up the data overall because we're analyzing all of them together. So,
well, thank you so much for being with us today.